Welcome back to GardenBound. If you've ever struggled to get certain seeds to sprout, you might find that stratification is the secret you've been missing. This natural process mimics the seasonal changes that seeds experience in the wild, ensuring they germinate successfully when the time is right. Whether you're working with perennials, trees, or wildflowers, understanding how to stratify your seeds can make all the difference in achieving a lush and vibrant garden. In this video, we'll break down what seed stratification is, why it's important, and provide you with step-by-step instructions on how to do it at home. By the end, you'll be equipped with the knowledge to give your seeds the best possible start. So grab your gardening gloves and let's get into it. And remember, if you find this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more gardening tips, and drop your questions in the comments below. Let's get started. Seed stratification is a technique that might sound complex, but it's really just about giving your seeds the natural cues they need to wake up and grow. Think of it as tricking your seeds into thinking they've gone through winter so they can germinate in the spring. This process is essential for many perennial plants, trees, and wildflowers that naturally scatter their seeds in the fall. In nature, these seeds lie dormant through the cold winter and sprout when the conditions are right in the spring. There are three main types of stratification: cold stratification, warm stratification, and combination stratification. Cold stratification is the most common and involves exposing seeds to cold, moist conditions. This mimics the natural winter freeze that many seeds experience. Typically, you'll want to keep the seeds at a temperature between 41 degrees Fahrenheit for a period of 30 to 60 days. This method works wonders for seeds like milkweed, lavender, and echinacea. Warm stratification, on the other hand, involves keeping the seeds in a warm, moist environment to break dormancy. This is less common but necessary for some plant species that require warmer conditions to germinate. Seeds are usually kept at temperatures ranging from 85 degrees Fahrenheit for about 60 to 90 days. An example of seeds that benefit from warm stratification includes some tropical plants. Then there's combination stratification, which, as you might guess, requires both warm and cold periods. Some seeds need a sequence of warm stratification followed by cold stratification to germinate properly. This method is a bit more involved but is crucial for certain species. For instance, ginseng seeds need a warm period of about 70 degrees Fahrenheit for several weeks, followed by a cold period to simulate the changing seasons. In the wild, seeds naturally undergo stratification as they fall to the ground and experience the seasonal changes. However, in controlled gardening environments, artificial stratification helps ensure that seeds germinate effectively. By mimicking these natural processes, gardeners can significantly increase the germination rates of seeds that would otherwise remain dormant. Understanding these types of stratification and applying them correctly can make a huge difference in your gardening success, especially when dealing with native plants and wildflowers that require specific germination conditions. There are several ways to stratify seeds, and the method you choose can depend on the type of seeds you're working with and your personal preference. The two main methods are cold stratification and warm stratification, each mimicking different environmental conditions that seeds might experience in nature. Cold stratification is the most common method and is particularly useful for seeds that require a period of cold to break dormancy. Many perennial plants and wildflowers, such as milkweed, lavender, and lupine, need cold stratification. To cold stratify seeds, you'll need a few materials: your seeds, a resealable plastic bag, a paper towel or some peat moss, and a refrigerator. Some gardeners prefer to use a mixture of sand and peat moss for this process. Begin by moistening the paper towel or peat moss until it is damp but not dripping wet. Place your seeds on the moist material and fold it over to cover them. Next, place the damp material with seeds inside the plastic bag, seal it, and label it with the date and the type of seeds to keep track of the stratification period. Put the bag in the refrigerator, not the freezer, as the seeds need a consistent temperature of around 34 to 41 degrees Fahrenheit. The stratification period can range from a few weeks to several months, depending on the seed type. For example, milkweed seeds typically require 30 days of cold stratification. Check the seeds periodically to ensure they remain moist and to watch for signs of germination. If any seeds start to sprout, they can be planted immediately. Scientific studies support the effectiveness of cold stratification. According to research published in the Journal of Seed Science, Seeds that undergo cold stratification show significantly higher germination rates compared to those that don't. This method is particularly important for native plants that have evolved to require a winter period before germination. Warm stratification is less common, but equally important for seeds that require a warm period to break dormancy. This method is often used for seeds from plants native to warmer climates or those that germinate after a fire. To warm stratify seeds, you'll need your seeds, a resealable plastic bag, and a damp paper towel or sand. Moisten the paper towel or sand and place the seeds on it. Then place the seeds and damp material in the plastic bag, seal it, and label it with the date and seed type. Store the bag in a warm place with temperatures between 68 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit. A warm, dark cupboard or a heat mat works well. Check the seeds regularly to ensure they remain moist and look for any signs of germination. Seeds from plants like desert lupines and certain types of cacti benefit from warm stratification. Research by the Desert Botanical Garden indicates that warm stratification significantly improves the germination rates of seeds adapted to fire-prone or warm climates. By understanding and applying these stratification methods, you can effectively mimic natural conditions and break seed dormancy, leading to better germination rates and stronger plants. Whether you're working with cold-loving perennials or heat-loving desert plants, stratification can be a game-changer for your gardening success. Let's walk through the steps for cold stratification, a method particularly useful for many types of perennial and wildflower seeds. The process is straightforward and can significantly increase your germination success. Start by gathering your materials: the seeds you wish to stratify, a resealable plastic bag, a paper towel or some peat moss, and a refrigerator. It's important to use a refrigerator, not a freezer, as the seeds need consistent, cold temperatures without freezing. Begin by moistening the paper towel or peat moss. The goal is to get it damp, but not dripping wet. Too much moisture can cause the seeds to rot. Once the paper towel or peat moss is damp, spread your seeds evenly across the surface. If you're using a paper towel, fold it over the seeds so they are fully enclosed in the moist environment. For peat moss, gently mix the seeds into the damp material. Next, place the damp material with seeds into the resealable plastic bag. Seal the bag tightly to maintain moisture levels and prevent the seeds from drying out. It's a good idea to label the bag with the date and type of seeds so you can keep track of the stratification period. Different seeds require different lengths of stratification, typically ranging from a few weeks to a few months. For example, milkweed seeds generally need about 30 days of cold stratification to break dormancy effectively. After sealing and labeling the bag, place it in the refrigerator. Aim to maintain a consistent temperature between 34 and 41 degrees Fahrenheit. During this period, the cold conditions mimic winter, which signals to the seeds that it's safe to break dormancy and prepare for germination. It's important to check on your seeds periodically to ensure they remain moist. If you notice any condensation on the inside of the bag, that's a good sign. It means the seeds are in a humid environment, which is exactly what they need. As the stratification period comes to an end, begin checking for signs of germination. Some seeds may start to sprout while still in the refrigerator. If this happens, they are ready to be planted. For those that don't show immediate signs of germination, the stratification process will still have prepared them for a much higher success rate once planted in soil. Scientific studies, such as those published in the Journal of Seed Science, have shown that cold stratification can significantly improve germination rates for many species. This process is crucial for seeds that have evolved to withstand cold winters and need that environmental cue to break dormancy. By following these steps, you can create optimal conditions for your seeds, leading to a more successful and rewarding gardening experience. We hope you enjoyed this video on seed stratification. We'd love for you to leave your thoughts and wisdom about seed stratification in the comments down below. Until next time, happy gardening.